Lord, can you hear me?
Please proceed.
Thank you. My Lord, by way of context, we wish to rely on the affidavit that is filed and dated 16th of October 2025.
Yes.
We also rely upon our submissions dated on the same day, 16th October 2025.
Yes.
And a case digest that also is dated 16th October 2025. My Lord, when we were preparing for this matter, my clients informed me that I should tell the court the story of a 25-year-old lady who lost her husband in the protests. And that husband was an only breadwinner, the only breadwinner in her family. And for her, the interest that she has in this matter is to have some sort of reparation to get her on her feet. Secondly, again, my Lord, in terms of context, the panel that has been established is what in law is known as a transitional justice mechanism model.
Yes.
Transitional justice mechanism model. And what this means, my Lord, is that in certain situations of nationhood, the formal legal or mechanical processes are inadequate or wanting, or they are not sufficiently developed to address large-scale incidences of either violation or national unrest.
Yes.
And for that reason, my Lord, one of the forums that are granted by these mechanisms is truth-telling or record-keeping for purposes of posterity. Truth-telling or record-keeping for purposes of posterity.
Yes.
Secondly, my Lord, reparations to provide for material or symbolic redress. My Lord, damages that are ordinarily granted by courts are not sufficient to address large-scale unrest or violation of human rights. Thirdly, my Lord, the purpose of transitional justice is to heal a fractured society and repair toxic politics.
Yes.
My Lord, that is in terms of context. In terms of the politics of this matter, my Lord, I've heard my learned friends say,
Yes.
either in or in the arguments or in course of these proceedings, that what is being offered is blood money.
Yes.
And my Lord, when I tried to find the basis of this quote, I found it in the book of Matthew, verses 27, chapter 27, verses 6, whereby the high priests refused to take the 30 cents of silver that Judas had been given for the life of Christ.
Yes.
My Lord, what the president has done is not without precedent.
Yes.
And there are occasions that have happened in this country whereby the executive has made some form of reparation to her citizens.
Yes.
And an example, my Lord, is during the 2008 post-election violence.
Yes.
The executive went out of the way and indeed compensated or tried to find reparation of the victims who had been evicted out of their lands by buying alternative parcels. We've cited other examples in our replying affidavit, which I need not repeat to this court.
Yes.
My Lord, in terms of the substance of the petition, this petition is predicated on upon six grounds. And I shall endeavor to answer each and every of the grounds that have been alleged as the basis of the petition. The first, my Lord, I will start from the last ground, which was being urged or pressed by my learned friend, Ms. Nganga, that there exists the Victim Protection Board.
Yes.
My Lord, what my learned friend fails to tell this court is, number one, is that that board has never been operationalized. Currently, it is inoperative. Secondly, my Lord, that board is based on Article 50, sub-Article 9 of the Constitution for protection of victims of crime. Meaning that the mandate of the board kicks in after a trial has been conducted and somebody has been found guilty. So it is not the same as what is envisaged under this compensation board. The second point, my Lord,
Is
that
network?
Yes, my Lord. I was waiting. I'm watching you as you're writing, so I'm trying to go as you write. So the second point, my Lord, is that the compensation board would violate the Data Protection Act of 2019 and Article 31 of the Constitution.
Yes.
Because the information that is sought, that shall be sought by the compensation board, is private information that is protected by that act.
Yes.
My Lord, Section 25C and E of the Data Protection Act provides that data can be collected for a legitimate purpose and where a valid explanation is provided.
Yes.
My Lord, those sections are a complete answer to the allegation that this compensation board this compensation board would violate certain sensitive data or personal data with respect to those that are intended to be compensated.
Yes.
Our submission, therefore, my Lord, on this point is that the attack that is based on the Data Protection Act is premature. And indeed, under the Act, a complaint with respect to data protection is a complaint that can only be made to the commissioner at first instance and not to the High Court.
Yes.
The third predicate of this petition, of the petitions, my lord, is that use of public funds, that there is a likely breach on how the funds that are going to be used to compensate will be used, and therefore that shall be in breach of Article 201 and 206 of the Constitution.
Yes.
My lord, when you retire to write the judgment, you will notice that this Gazette notice that is challenged provides that that compensation board shall comply with the law. And secondly, my lord, the provisions of Public Finance Management Act are very strict on how public finances ought to be applied. Lastly, my lord, the compensation board is not the one that is going to pay. It is going to recommend. Again, my lord, our submission therefore is that the attack based on use of public funds is speculative, since the board is yet to start its work. The fourth point, my lord, I think the fifth point is that this compensation board violates the legislative function of Parliament under Article 94 and 95 of the Constitution.
Yes.
Lord, our answer to that is simple. That there is nothing that has been established, either through the pleadings or submissions by my learned friends, that the compensation board or the Gazette notice is with respect to any legislative act.
Yes.
The last one, my lord, is the attack on the board is that it usurps the functions of Article 59 of the Constitution with respect to the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights.
Yes.
My lord, when again you retire, I would request that you read the entire Article 59 of the Constitution, and you will notice that there is nothing in that article or the establishing act that provides that the KNCHR operates a compensation fund.
Yes.
My lord, reparation of victims, healing of the nation, is a function that is meant to unite the nation. And our submission, therefore, my lord, is that when you retire, look at Article 259 of the Constitution, which provides that the Constitution is to be interpreted as if it's always speaking, and that it should contribute to good governance. Lastly, my lord, before I yield my remaining minutes to Mr. Bosire, it's important to point out to the court that the panel is not an investigating panel. It is supposed to verify victimhood for purposes of eligibility for humanitarian support. My lord, based on those submissions, I would urge the court not to interfere with this board and indeed hold that the purpose of the board is one of the purposes that are set out under Article 23 of the Constitution and also 259. I rest there, my lord, and I would request my learned friend, Mr. Bosire, to just highlight the authorities that have been relied upon.